What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this Game of Thrones video. So, you may be wondering why I'm not doing an Avengers Endgame video, because 5 minutes of the movie has leaked along with the ending of the movie as well. So, there are spoilers out there for Avengers Endgame, so please be careful. They are absolutely everywhere, and even on the Don't Spoil Endgame hashtag, they're there, because people are douchebags. And I'm not going to be covering them. In the last year and a half, I've been trying not to cover too much on like those kind of really kind of leaked footage videos, to be honest, because I don't really find them that interesting, because, well, it's literally just spoilers for the movie. And, well, that is that. And to be honest, Game of Thrones has got my interest at the moment because it's come back. And I imagine when Endgame comes out, and just before, I'll be doing some maybe theory videos on around that and a bit more. But there's one theory about Game of Thrones which has been, a lot of you have been talking about, and I've talked about this with people at work, on WhatsApp, absolutely everything, and it's a very interesting theory, to say the least. And there will be spoilers for episode 1 of season 8 of Game of Thrones in this video, so if you don't want to be spoilt, kind of just click off now and come back once you've watched the episode. But Game of Thrones has had a big mystery as to who exactly is the Night King. There has been many different theories, including that it could be Bran the Builder, it could be Brandon Stark, it could be Mance Rayder in some way, and a lead theory at the moment is the fact that he could be a Targaryen. That is very curious there, to say the least. Now, one thing here is very curious, because the fact that, well, the Targaryens had a long and rich history. And if you will recall, the good old Night King was created before the Night King was created before the first men actually were turned into, or kind of, the Targaryens didn't invade Westeros until after the first men had, been plunged into being created into being the White Walkers. Very obtuse there explanation, but what I'm saying is the Night King creation precedes the Targaryen invasion of Westeros, which is very curious. They were just chilling before the doom of Valyria, pretty much. And if you haven't read the book, the Fire and Blood book, go do it, because it's really good. So that's one reason why it couldn't be. But another interesting idea is that there is the 3 heads of the dragon. Of course, there is the 3-head theory. You've got Jon Snow. Yep, you've got him, who is a Targaryen. He is Aegon Targaryen. You've got Daenerys as well, who is one of the heads of this dragon there, being a Targaryen. The 3rd head being who? Well, we don't know. And that 3rd head could possibly actually be the Night King himself. And the fact is that he seemed to know about dragons. He seemed to know exactly where they'll be. He could have kind of sensed that the dragons were coming. Obviously, he manages to somehow see Bran when he's in the green sight, or he's in Raven mode there, which is very curious. And he can simply ride a dragon, and he can command it. Now, playing devil's advocate here with that is the idea that, well, first of all, he has magic, and of course that when the dead are, well, dead and they've been risen, he is able actually to control them quite easily. He is able to control them nonetheless, so that's really curious there. And, well, is he able to control the dragon because, well, he's a Targaryen, and they played heavily on that in this episode, reminding us that the Targaryens are very powerful in the ways of the dragons, that the dragons obey them quite easily, which is what we saw here in this episode with Jon Snow having a subservient dragon to him, and he really did learn how to train his dragon there, because, well, he is a Targaryen. So that is very big there. Targaryens are the only ones who are able to control dragons. The Night King can control a dragon as well. Interesting. Another people are saying that the Night King could be the Mad King. No. Not happening. Not happening at all. Now, what is interesting as well, another big thing here is the fact that, as we saw poor Ned Umber burnt, we saw that weird circular kind of thing exist once more. Now, a lot of people are saying this, that it is the Targaryen dragon. No, it's not. What it is simply a representation of where the Night King was created. When we saw that dragon glass dagger go into his heart, before that we saw above where he was created, and that was the weird kind of circle thing. In my last video, I talked about just who the Night King could be and why those circle things were there. It's possibly because that is part of the ritual that the Children of the Forest went to create the Night King and create the White Walkers there for the first time. So that's really interesting there. Personally, I don't think he's a Targaryen. I'm going to kind of myth bust this theory. I'm going to say this theory has been busted, in my opinion. I don't think it's him. I think that, my opinion, Bran is still the leading theory because he seems to know exactly what's happened. He can control green sight. And what if we did have our friend, our dude, Bran, warg back in time? We know if you spend too much time as your warg victim, you become them in time. And, well, what if he just went back in time, spent too long as the Night King in his green sight, and then did actually become the Night King? And we're seeing some two timelines parallel go towards. That's quite curious there. But for me, I don't think that the Night King is actually a Targaryen at all. He may simply just be a first man who has been created and rebelled against his creators there, and finally saw an opportunity with winter coming to go south and take everyone on. But that's it for this video. Please drop a like, please subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.